Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, AEW just killed its cash-in gimmick.
Kenny Omega makes history as the new international champion.
Where's Wardlow?
And a former WWE star attends AEW Revolution. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Okay, so we got all kinds of Revolution coverage coming
Yes.
today. On this channel, we've got Simon Miller with Ups and Downs. He'll be along shortly. Then later on, we've got a special Y from Simon Miller as well, going out in the evening, 2:45 Eastern, 7:45 here in the UK. Actually, did the clocks just change in the US?
Oh, maybe.
So it might be a different time.
Yeah, we're a bit
these.
behind the times here. We've got like 3 weeks left of darkness.
The usual evening slot. That's when
Yes.
it's going out. Podcast channel,
Yep.
boom, Revolution review, pamphlet. No, he's not here.
No.
Sidgwick
Couldn't be bothered. Me and Sid will do it now, don't worry.
Somebody else will call the main event a Turquinho or whatever it is. But yes, let's talk about some Revolution stuff on this news as well. First and foremost.
Spoilers, obviously, but why are you watching this?
Yeah, this is it. Spoilers everywhere, all over these stories.
Yeah.
So the cash-in gimmick's dead. It's done. It's over. It doesn't exist anymore because Christian Cage tried to cash in. He did, the contract, boom, boom, boom. He entered the match between Jon Moxley and Cope. So it's official. The cash-in, the contract is used.
Yeah.
And he lost. He got choked out by Jon Moxley in the Bulldog choke.
Surprise, surprise.
And his cash-in attempt has failed. So he won this contract by winning the casino gauntlet at All in London
At Wembo, yeah.
Yeah, last August. So he's had it for a while. It's been kind of a looming threat over the AEW World title scene. And it's come at a time as well when the AEW title scene has not been the most critically well-received thing in the company, with the ongoing Death Rider saga. I would argue just one point in its favor, right? I've not enjoyed this storyline, and I didn't enjoy the main event last night, right?
No.
I thought it was a really good pay-per-view with a kind of a sour main event, but I'm not going to let one match cloud, my enjoyment of it or whatever. I will say, just doing a straight up feud between Cope and the Death Riders has been a bit more enjoyable than we're trying to take over the company.
Yes.
It has, it's slight improvement, I would say. Personally, maybe you like it, I don't know. But yeah, the cash-in gimmick is dead, and I think this is for the best, right?
I agree. I think, what's the phrase? Albatross around their necks. It's felt like that for quite some time now. I was talking to you before we came in here about whether or not necessarily this specifically was the plan, or whether they had a plan for it whatsoever. And you were right, I think, in saying they probably did, but then maybe things changed because of the way the main event stuff has been received. I wasn't surprised by the cash-in, just like I wasn't surprised. Who Wheelie who's going to side with? Obviously, Mox in the main event. I kind of echo your thoughts on it, to be honest, but then again, how do you follow Ospreay and Fletcher killing each other in a cage?
Yeah,
and
this is it.
Ditto that for Tony Storm and Mariah May.
And Omega and Takeshita had a great match. I thought Ricochet Swerve was great.
MJF Hangman to open.
Yeah, it was a really good show. Good show, and then you get to the main event.
The match I was probably least excited about, probably the main event as well. So that probably echoes my thoughts across the board with AEW. But yeah, I'm glad this is out of the way now, and now we can genuinely look forward to Swerve versus Mox going forward.
Yeah.
As with many people who've challenged Mox for the world title, I hope Swerve takes it.
Yeah, me too. I do think that there is some course correction stuff going on here. I think that getting rid of the Christian cash-in gimmick is an acknowledgement that this is not ideal for where we're at right now. I also think that installing Swerve as the number one contender by beating Ricochet is probably leading to him beating Moxley. And then maybe you do him in Hangar in Texas. That'll sell tickets. That'll be good. That'll be good stuff. That'll be some good stuff. I would say, right, so I think there's good and bad with this situation here, right? Because I've seen a lot of people who are annoyed at the way it went down. And I don't disagree. I don't think it was the cleanest execution ever. I think that having Wheeler Yuta interfere and then Christian comes out, it was, there was lots of things going on. And I think
Jay White got involved,
Yeah, Jay White. I forgot Jay White. There was a lot of people speculating that Jay White might sign his name on the contract and then cash in before the show as well. But for me personally, and you can disagree, it's totally fine. I don't think AEW should have a cash-in.
I was about to ask you, do you think they'll do it again? I don't think they will.
They should never do this again, in my opinion. I think they should forget it even happened. WWE can do it well. Sometimes, it's Reno Gattuso with cash-ins, right? Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe So so it's good when you have like a sneaky heel, and Christian Cage is a sneaky ass
He's the
heel.
perfect person to put it on, yeah.
I just got with the impression from all of this that it felt a bit too WWE-like, and I think AEW should do more to differentiate itself rather than just doing everything. Money in the Bank cash in. We'll do that too. Not for me.
Yeah, I think arguably you can pinpoint when people were complaining a lot more about AEW, quite rightly in my opinion, over the last couple of years, it's because they seem to lean more WWE in terms of what they were doing. It's like, no. The reason why AEW became so popular was because they were so different to what... I know WWE's changed in the last few years as well. And I know they're not the only ones who does the Money in the Bank thing. They got, Gift from the Gods or whatever it was called in Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
but it is... people's minds do automatically go to that. And
absolutely,
AEW have already got history of like, look, if you want to say this person gets a title shot, they just win a tournament or whatever, and they get a title shot, but just a specific time or place.
I agree. I think that's the best way to do it. Just if you're doing Casino Gauntlets to name number one contenders, just set a match.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to faff around with any more. Cash-in stuff. So yeah, like you take the good with the bad, right?
Yeah.
So we went through not the best main event last night with all of this stuff going on and Christian failing and Jay White and Utah and all this stuff. But it's going to take us to a better place where this cash-in thing doesn't exist, which in my opinion is a good thing. I think it's one of the worst ideas they've had in a few years to do this. And look, I like Christian Cage a lot.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I love Jon Moxley, and I like Adam Copeland too. That sounds like a burial. I enjoy all of these men, right? But this was just an idea that didn't work.
Exactly. They're good that they tried it, but yeah.
Yeah. Tony's back in the weeds, in his own words.
Yeah.
He's out in the garden, pruning the hedges.
Yeah.
Taking them poisonous berries off
the dandelions, ripping them out.
Get rid of them. Get rid of all of the slugs. Pour salt on them slugs. Make them explode all over the place. Don't put them on YouTube, though. You can't be putting slugs on YouTube, man. I earn a lot of money, probably. I know. Let us know about slug monetization in the comments.
Let's know your favourite slug YouTube channel.
Who's your favourite slug YouTube channel?
I've been out in the league for a while, I'll be honest, mate.
Yeah, we do. I need to tap back in with the invertebrate community.
Indeed. Right, let's continue to talk about AEW Revolution, though, because there was a title change on this show. It was the International Championship. Kenny Omega finally defeating Konosuke Takeshita on the third try, I think it was.
Third try?
Third try, to win the international title. Takeshita held it for 149 days. I think 8 or so defenses in there. In the end, after they were both trying for one-winged angels and just killing each other out there. Really great matches, Andy said. Worth checking out.
For the finish?
Yeah. And he stole it after Don Callis kept trying to get himself involved and breaking his hand, punching Kenny Omega or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, Kenny Omega is the new international champion. The first belt he's won since he came back from that horrific injury, of course. And he stands now as the only man in AEW to have held the World, International, Tag Team, and Trios Championships. The only ones to cross off now, TNT and Continental. I sense the Continental, despite the fact he's got a championship, the Continental might be in his future. I like the idea of a belt merger, particularly when you get Omega Okada out of it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think I saw some people calling this a Grand Slam, 2 singles and the trios and the tag. I don't know, like I like the idea of the Grand Slam being every belt available, right? Every single one available to him. But he is the first person to do this as well, and it's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing for Kenny to accomplish. I thought the match was really good. I think that I'm enjoying the way he's adapting because his athleticism, he's not this blazing arrow that he was, pre-diverticulitis, but he's adapted really well. And I think one of the most pleasing things about watching wrestlers age is seeing how they adapt to age and injuries and stuff. Like a guy like Samoa Joe is a great example. He's not zipping around the ring like he used to, but he's a bad mother effer.
Yeah.
And he's leaned into that side of his character. So now Kenny is doing these selling matches where he's clutching this. It's good stuff. It's informed by real life.
Yeah, I was going to say it's intriguing because obviously we remember like Miro who had the like glowing red weak spot that was his neck. Yeah. It's weird to see a babyface have that, but I really like the way it was factored in. Like Kenny Omega could have been put through a table at one point, and that would have been, I've never done it, but that would presumably have sucked. But the fact he got dropped Tommy first onto the edge was far worse for him in the story of the match.
But right after Takeshita shouted, "I'll kill him!" as well. I was like, oh, gosh, jeez. It's a family show. Well, I mean, there was a lot of blood on this show, so maybe it's not a family show. But yeah.
Jesus, Tony Storm arrived, mate. Weren't messing
high-paid
about with it.
deathmatch vibes, what's going on? What's up?
And then Fletcher and Ospreay was like, how about double the blood?
Yeah, Mark Davis bled in that. It's just like, hell yeah.
3 people
Let's
bled in a
go.
1v1 match. What?
Dom Callis and Rick side. I'm bleeding too. Why not?
I like the fact that the big spot off the top of the cage, the commentators didn't do it like, wow. They were just like, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die.
But the Spanish fly off the top of the cage is so nuts.
Like, I can picture those two. They've obviously got a great history together, agreeing to it. But even so, when you're up there, you're like, "We sure about this, Will?"
Yeah. They put in a lot of trust in each other, and they pulled it off. So fair enough.
Do you reckon Dave goes 5+ on that one?
Dave goes 5+ on his swift fart in a breeze these days. Dave, listen.
He's giving more 5s out to WWE, isn't he now?
He gives us any match that's quite good to Dave.
I think we could get a 3.5-star match. Me and you.
Yeah, I don't want to send any hate Dave's way because he's informed my taste a lot over the years. But yeah, he's very generous these days.
A lot of people get grumpier with age. He's just like getting kinder.
Yeah, he's like, what? Look at this.
5 stars for you, 5 stars for you.
Anytime I watch a pretty good match now, I'm like, that's 4.5. Dave.
Yeah.
Dave's going 4.5.
I literally don't care about star ratings, but it is funny, and I do enjoy the game we play on our
We like the
Friday
game in the
afternoons.
office. Yeah, that's it. It's funny to me rather than annoying. I ultimately don't care.
Does it affect your enjoyment of the match? No.
Exactly.
So just, if you don't care about it, don't read it or care.
These things should be a guide, right? Reviews should be a guide. They shouldn't be a gospel. I think that if you are surrendering your opinion to someone else, like you go, oh, what do I think? I have to wait for the TV rating,
exactly,
or or the star rating or whatever. Can you imagine like reading about a movie online and going, this sounds cool. What's this? What's a good movie?
Bullet Train was a really good one. That got buried by the critics.
Yeah, there you go. Bullet Train with Brad Pitt going nuts. All Bad Bunny's in it. Fun, violent, crazy, good visuals, blah, blah, blah. Let me just check someone. Oh, it drew less than Avatar. I can't watch that. It must be bad. The Shawshank Redemption did less than Avatar.
I do the ups and downs every year for Stand and Deliver in NXT, and every match gets a golden up. So do not base your opinions on other people's ratings.
This is it, people who base their enjoyment on business metrics and ratings. They're like, I can't listen to anything that's not Taylor Swift.
Yes, exactly.
This has got fewer views on Spotify than just crazy stuff.
What's your favourite Beatles album? Probably the best of the Beatles.
I mean, to be fair, even the best of the Beatles is kind of bad. Name a riff. Name one riff, exactly.
Don't.
You can do it. Name a riff.
I can't.
Okay, there you go. See, they haven't got any. Anyway, Beatles, Bears, Wardlow.
Oh, Wardlow, yes.
I don't know. This is a nightmare of a day. Wardlow, what's going on with him? Where is he?
Yeah, where is he?
Los Angeles, apparently.
Oh, that's lucky.
But he wasn't on the show last night, obviously. Fightful learned that Wardlow has been hanging out in LA as of late. Why is this? He's doing some stuff.
Okay.
Doing some things. So apparently, I've completely lost my brain. He's been working on a different project, not an AEW related project. It seems there's been a lot of talk about him not being used. He hasn't wrestled in almost a year at this stage. Right, it was big business on the 13th of March. So Mercedes Money has had a whole ass run.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, since the last time Wardlow was here. Fightful noting that every time they've asked, they've been told he's recovering from an injury.
Okay.
So if it's a year, it must be a pretty nasty injury. This was before Revolution, and they did say they hadn't been told he'd be appearing on Revs, which he didn't. They also said they haven't been told or heard any timetable on a return for him. So yeah, weird one. If he's injured, you can't really argue with it, can you?
No, this is the thing. I think, a lot of people, myself included, probably put him in that bracket with your Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints, he is now, Malachi, Miro, etc. Of just like, they're not using him, and I think he would be pretty good in WWE, so I'd like to see him make the jump. But, as we've heard on several occasions now, if he's suffering from an injury, it's not like AEW, like, no! Not booking Wardlow, which is a shame because they have given him a couple of pushes, haven't they? They obviously had the post MJF one, and then they gave him titles and things like that. I don't know what's happening with him. I just hope we see him back in the wrestling ring, or if he wants to do some other stuff, I hope he's just enjoying that. To be fair.
Definitely. I think he's a really interesting case because he was so over when they did the MJF split. Like when he was doing those rampages through the arena chasing after him, he was so over. And he squashed him. He got the title run, which didn't really pan out. They've taken some chances with him over the years. This sounds so silly, but I think that getting rid of his top knot was a dumb idea.
Yeah,
I don't get it. He looked really cool with with the hair. It's not a big thing.
Maybe that's the injury he's been working on, just growing his hair.
Yeah, growing his man bun back. And then obviously you had the Kingdom pairing, which didn't quite work out for him either.
Yeah, that whole Devil thing just never was going to work with Cole's injury, unfortunately.
Devil is my least favorite AEW storyline ever. That and Nightmare Collective up there.
You can't say Dark Order because that got mint. Like the Creepers was dreadful.
So like the first 2 months of the Dark Order was kind of rough, but after that,
Brody Lee.
When Brody Lee came in, it was off to the races, baby. Death Riders, the Death Riders is not as bad as some of this stuff, is it?
It's not. Well, is it go away? I just don't care. I just kind of go, yeah. Like a lot of times if I'm watching it, I'm like, right, you're walking through the crowd. This can save 5 minutes on a early morning.
Yeah, like if it continues along the path it started on, or after the first couple of months when they were just like, there was nothing. It was like a gang of people waiting for them in the car park and stuff. That didn't really work. But yeah, I think stuff like the Nightmare Collective really puts it to shame.
Yeah.
Anything involving Brandy Rhodes, unfortunately. She just had bad creative.
Yeah, it was some dodgy stuff back then.
The Dan Lambert stuff, oi.
Oh boy, there's some diamonds in that rough right there. But, we'll save that for another time.
Yeah, doesn't respect ranks in martial arts.
No.
As we learned in that one. But
now, Wardlow wasn't at AEW Revolution, but I'll tell you who was, and that is the former Elektra Lopez from WWE, the former WWE star, I should say, Elektra Lopez. This was reported by Lucha Libre Online that she was seen backstage at the Crypto.com arena.
What a funny name.
It's a weird name. Is crypto still a thing? Or is that all just like...
I don't know. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I'm sure.
It's going to be the new thing.
That's Hawk Tua vanished because of crypto,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess everyone eventually.
She did a little pump and dump over there. I watched these CoffeeZilla videos about this.
I like a bit of CoffeeZilla about this sort of thing. But yes, interesting stuff about Elektra Lopez. You've seen, as I said, backstage at AEW Revolution. Following on, of course, as Lucha Libre Online reports, from being seen backstage at TNA. There's several companies with a strong interest in signing the Puerto Rican. I liked Elektra Lopez, particularly with her time in NXT. She was one of the numerous releases recently, of course, of just like the people who weren't really being used, but I'm fairly certain she was on like the SmackDown about 2 days before. I know it was just like a backstage segment with Legado del Fantasma. But yeah, interested to see what happens next. I would presume I feel like TNA are going to be more interested in signing her purely because AEW's got such depth in their women's division now. But who knows? Maybe they think we'll bring her in and we really can do something with it, or maybe think we'll bring her in and see what she can do in ROH or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But nice to hear that she's getting interest from companies. I really like her.
Doing the rounds.
Yeah.
Visiting. She might just be visiting friends.
Yeah.
Who the heck knows? Maybe she lives in LA and just went, hey, I want to chill at the show. Is
Not a
that
bad way to spend a Sunday evening. Yeah.
Could be anything. I think she's like, that's gonna sound like a burial again, but I don't mean it. I think she's a better personality than a wrestler.
I think that's fair.
I don't think she's like this horrendous wrestler or anything like that. But I don't really like. If I'm thinking of names I'm going to add to the AEW Women's Division, it's not really the first one that comes to mind.
No.
But like, I do think she was a really good fit in her various kind of managerial roles and stuff. Also, I liked her big hat that she used to rock.
Yes.
And all that stuff. So hey, maybe we'll see her pop up somewhere soon. I think that I will caveat all of this by saying that I don't think you really know how good someone is until you see them in at least 2 different environments.
Yeah, fair.
So like some people leave WWE and they go on to do amazing things that you didn't know were possible. Some people might do the opposite and come in from TNA and kill it or whatever. I like to see people in different environments, so I'm keen to see what she can do elsewhere, as with everyone else. The one I'm really excited about is Baron Corbin, Bishop Dyer.
Yes.
Tom Pesta. What's that man got up his sleeve? I'd really love to know.
Did some sort of shoot jiu-jitsu tournament recently or something?
Yeah, he's beating ass all over the place, man. He had a match with my guy, Sensei Josh Barnett, for GCW, but there's not been much else since. Because he's a dude who, like, we've only seen, apart from the GCW match, we've only ever seen him wrestle in WWE.
Yeah.
What does he look like
We've
elsewhere?
seen good glimpses like that. Remember that King of the Ring run?
Yeah.
You were like, there it is.
Yeah, it's
and then
there.
not War Dogs, what are they called?
War Dogs.
It's the wrong one.
Knights of
the one with bloody Bron Breakker, I forget what it's called.
Oh, yeah, the Wolf Dogs.
Wolf Dogs, thank you. Let's get there eventually.
I was about to say the Knights of the Round Table. What's that?
No.
That's that guy. What's his name?
I think there was a brief summit over there, but yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what. I hope he gets some stuff over WrestleMania weekend. I hope he gets to see him there.
Yeah, he's a fun one because he's a real life ass kicker as well. He's a boxer, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, Golden Gloves. Yeah, exactly.
And his interview with Chris Van Vliet just seems like a really smart guy too. So hell yeah. I liked his. Sorry to interrupt you. His explanation of his gimmick. Bishop is one better than Baron.
Very smart. My sources actually have a bit more of a development with Elektra Lopez, by the way, to circle back to that one. I've got my little birds out there. Apparently AEW are going to bring her in, but they're not going to give her her WWE name. She's going to be called Electric Lopez, and she's going to be the face of AEW Shockwave.
Perfect. You're your tag team partner, baby.
You've heard it first.
Electric Eel Lopez.
No, best look to whatever Electric Lopez wants to do next. But yes, join us later on today. Well, not us, but the channel, vaguely. We're all under the same umbrella. Join Simon Miller for Ups and Downs later on today from AEW Revolution. Me and Sige will be talking about as well on the podcast channel. But in the meantime, Andy, what can they watch?
Oh, how about this video, which is, what one am I going to put here today? How about the 50 best wrestlers in the world right now?
Good choice.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Give it a click.
Good stuff.